Open the cabinet under your kitchen sink and look at what is standing there. A jug of laundry booster. A separate spray for the mold on the grout. A can of scouring powder. A little tub of silver polish you bought for one holiday and haven't touched since. A drain foamer. An ant spray with a skull on the label that you keep on the top shelf, away from the children. A carpet deodorizer. A toilet bowl gel. 8, 10, a dozen bottles, every one of them sold to do exactly one job, every one a quarter empty and gone gummy around the cap, and every one wanting $4 or $5 of your money. You paid $60 for that shelf, and it still doesn't do half of what you need. Now let me show you my shelf. There's a box on it. One box, cardboard, a $4 box of borax, plain sodium borate, a white mineral scooped out of a dry lake bed in the desert and ground to a powder. That's the whole shelf. My grandmother kept the same box, in the same corner of the same cupboard, and she ran a house, a dairy, and a garden out of it. My name is Jonas, I am Amish, and today I'm going to empty your cabinet into one box. I'll walk you through 15 honest jobs this one $4 box does: the wash, the smells, the burnt pot, the mold, the ants, the weeds in the path, with the real amounts, where they go, and why they work. And hold on to this question all the way to the end, because it's the best one. There's a single thing this box will do that you cannot buy in any store, at any price, in any bottle. The big companies don't even sell it, because there is no way to bottle it. Hold that. We'll get there. But first, plainly, because I won't hand you a tool without its warning, borax is a cleaning mineral, not a food. It is not to be eaten, and it is not a seasoning, no matter what the powder looks like in the jar. You keep it up high, away from the little ones and away from the dog and the cat, the same as you would the lye or the bleach. You follow the words printed on the box. Wash your hands when you're done with it. Treat it with the plain respect you'd give any strong cleaner, and it will serve you for years. Now, the jobs. Start where my grandmother started, on wash day. Half a cup of borax goes into the machine with your regular soap, thrown in as the drum fills with hot water so it dissolves before the clothes go in. It softens hard water, and hard water is the real reason your whites go gray and your towels go stiff and scratchy. Soap can't do its work in hard water, it spends itself fighting the minerals instead of the dirt. Borax pulls those minerals out of the way so the soap you already paid for finally cleans. Your whites come out brighter, your colors deeper, and your towels come off the line soft again. That one job alone is what the $4 laundry booster bottle is selling you. This is that, without the bottle. The same powder that whitens your wash eats your bad smells, and here's the trick to understand about borax. A smell is usually something acidic, and borax is a mild base, so it doesn't cover the smell with a perfume, it neutralizes the thing making it. Set a small open dish of borax on the bottom shelf of the icebox and the sour milk and onion smell goes flat within a day. Shake a thin handful into the bottom of the kitchen garbage can, under the bag, and the can stops greeting you every time you lift the lid. And the mattress, the one you sleep on every night and never wash, sift a light dusting of borax across the bare mattress, rub it in gentle with your palm, let it sit an hour or two, then vacuum it all back up. It pulls the stale night sweat smell right out of the ticking. Do it in the morning, strip the bed, and the mattress is fresh by nightfall. Now the burnt pot, the one soaking in the sink since supper with the scorched cream sauce welded to the bottom. Make a paste, a tablespoon of borax, a few drops of warm water, work to the thickness of soft butter. Smear it on the burnt patch and give it 10 minutes to work. Borax is a scouring mineral, gritty enough to cut the crust but soft enough that it won't scratch your good pot the way steel wool does. Then the burnt sauce lifts off with a rag. The same paste on a damp cloth takes the grease film off the stovetop and the sticky ring off the back of the range. That paste has a harder job waiting in the bathroom, the black speckle in the grout between the shower tiles, the mildew that comes back a week after you scrub it. Spread the borax paste right along the grout line, thick, and leave it a good while, half an hour if you have it. Then scrub with an old toothbrush and rinse. The mold is a living thing, and it needs a slightly acidic, damp home to grow. The borax leaves the grout too alkaline for it to take hold again, so it doesn't just wipe the mold away, it makes the surface less inviting for it to come back. That's why the mold tends to stay away longer than it does after the spray with the sharp smell. While you're at the plumbing, the slow drain. Pour half a cup of dry borax straight down the drain, then chase it with a kettle of boiling water, slow. The borax loosens the grease, the soap scum, and the hair knot that's choking the pipe, and the boiling water flushes it on through. Do it of an evening once a month and you'll be far less likely to face a clogged drain, and you may never again need to reach for that caustic drain gel that costs $6 and can wear on the pipe along with the clog. The toilet is the same idea, easier. A cup of borax into the bowl at bedtime, swished around the sides with the brush so it clings, and left to sit the whole night while nobody uses it. In the morning, one pass of the brush and a flush, and the ring is gone and the bowl is bright. A handful in the sink and the tub, scrubbed and rinsed, does that job too. Here's one that surprises folks, the ants. When the little black line of them comes marching across the counter in July, you make a bait. A teaspoon of borax stirred into about half a cup of warm water with enough sugar dissolved in it to make a sweet syrup, a few tablespoons. Soak a cotton ball in it and set it where the ants are traveling, on a jar lid. Now hear me close, because this is the job that carries the warning heaviest. This bait is sweet on purpose, sweet enough that a child or a dog or a cat will go for it too, and it must never be left anywhere they can reach it. Put it behind the stove, under the sink, on a high ledge, only where the ants go and the family does not. The ants carry the sweet bait home to the nest, so it can reach the whole colony over time, not just the ones you see marching. When you're done, throw the whole thing out, don't leave it sitting. Out the back door, the same powder has a job in the cracks of your path. Where the weeds and the moss push up between the flagstones and the patio bricks, sweep dry borax down into those seams. It makes the crack an unfriendly place for a weed to root. But keep it in the cracks and off your garden beds and your lawn. It doesn't know a weed from a bean plant, so you use it on the stone paths, not near anything you want to grow. Back inside, the shine jobs. Your grandmother's silver, gone dark in the drawer, a soft paste of borax and water on a cloth, rubbed along the piece, brings the black tarnish up and the gleam back, gentle enough not to wear the silver thin. Same for a dull brass handle or a tarnished candlestick. And the whole room that's gone musty, the spare bedroom nobody sleeps in, the closet that smells of old coats, an open bowl of borax left on the shelf drinks that flat, closed up smell out of the air over a week, the same as it does in the icebox, only bigger. Let me catch us up, because the box has done a great deal already. It has washed and whitened the clothes. It has taken the smell out of the icebox, the garbage, and the mattress. It scoured the burnt pot and the greasy stove, kept the mold from the grout, cleared the drain, brightened the toilet and the sink, baited the ants, choked the weeds in the path, and polished the silver and the brass. 11 or 12 jobs out of one $4 box, and I haven't yet touched the two that folks never expect, including the one I told you to hold. Here's a quiet one worth knowing. A strong borax solution, a good few tablespoons dissolved in hot water until no more will dissolve, brushed or sponged onto a natural cloth or a wood surface and let dry, leaves the minerals soaked into the fibers. Folks in the old days used this on natural cloth and straw because the treated fibers were slower to catch and carry a flame. It's worth knowing as a piece of household history, not as any kind of fire protection. A treatment like this is never a safeguard, so you always keep open flame well away from cloth and rely on plain care and proper fire safety, not on the powder. And now the one you held. Cut flowers. Not keeping them alive in the vase, I mean keeping them, the exact bloom, the exact color, the way it looked the morning you cut it. You take a shoebox, and you make a bed of a dry mixture, 1 part borax to about 2 parts white cornmeal, mixed together loose and fine. You lay a ½ inch of it in the bottom, you set your fresh flower down on it, and then you gently sift the same mixture in and around and over every petal until the bloom is buried and held, no petal touching another, the flower sitting inside the powder exactly as it grew. Then you close the box, set it in a dry corner, and you leave it 2 weeks. When you lift the flour out and brush the powder off with a soft brush, the borax has pulled the water out of the petals so slowly and so evenly that the flour didn't wilt or brown or collapse, it simply stopped, dried standing up, holding its shape and near all its color. A rose from June, still a rose in December. Now think on what I told you to hold. Walk every aisle of every store and you cannot buy that flour. There's no bottle for it, no $4 product, no $5, no $50. The big companies sell you a spray for the mold and a gel for the toilet and a booster for the wash, and I've shown you the box does every one of those for a fraction of the price, but this last thing they don't sell at all, because you cannot bottle a June rose kept whole through the winter. That is the job that has no competitor. The one that isn't cheaper than the store. It's the one the store doesn't have. So this week, do this. Buy the one box, it's $4 and it will outlast the season. Put half a cup in your next load of wash and feel the towels come off the line soft. Set the open dish in the icebox. And if you've got a late bloom still standing in the garden, cut one, and lay it down in the borax and the cornmeal, and mark your calendar 2 weeks out. Then come tell me in the comments, which bottle came off your cabinet shelf first when the box moved in, the drain gel, the scouring can, the silver polish. Tell me which one you won't miss. I read every word down there. Next time, I'll show you the other old white powder that lived next to the borax in my grandmother's cupboard, and the handful of jobs it does that borax cannot. The two of them ran that whole house between them. Until then, keep the box up high, follow the words on the side, and let one plain mineral do the work of a shelf full of bottles. The old ways still work.